guys, welcome to Para-Ops, open-minded paranormal skeptics, where we review all things paranormal evidence. My name is Sky, I'm your host, and here with me is my co-host.
Hello, my name is Seth. I'm one of the public relations managers here at P.A.R.A.Normal. How are you guys doing tonight?
Hi, I'm Keith. I'm the senior evidence technician for the team, and happy to be here.
Good to have you.
We are happy to have you, Keith.
Thank you.
Keith has a wonderful set of skills, and I think we might discuss that a little bit on here. So today we're going to review another George Taylor House evidence clip that we have from our live feed, and we want to know what your thoughts are. We have our thoughts, so are you guys ready to explore your fears with us?
Here we go.
Did you hear it?
Something at the end of me.
So what we're looking at here is that flash of light that you guys saw, and we want to know what your thoughts are on it. Seth, what do you think?
So this was at the George Taylor House, correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. There's 3 ghosts there, allegedly.
Allegedly.
And so what are you guys doing there? Are you using a spirit box?
Yeah, right there we have the portal spirit box, and that it picks up on radio frequencies, and then the spirits can communicate that way.
Okay. All right. During that session, did you guys get any kind of responses or pings, so to speak?
Off of that, I don't recall us hearing anything, but we did have a lot of other stuff in that general area.
Okay. And then I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was actually going to say Keith was on a different team, and I'm not sure what he had happen in that room.
It was actually very quiet in that room, except I had a full spectrum camera, which it looks at the full spectrum of light that obviously humans can't see. And I just noticed something in the one side room. Larissa on the ottoman or chair there, the couch, whatever you call it. I was on that same exact place, and I was looking back, and I'm like, man, there's something moving in that room, or there's just something. And it was noticed by several people. It was not completely obvious. It was not something that just really stood out, but your eye, you picked it up. And it was interesting. It just got your attention.
That is because you had a couple of people pick up on it.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on what you just saw with the evidence, with the flash?
With me?
Yes, you. I apologize.
No, that's fine.
Don't forget to say names.
Yeah. I honestly, I would call that just a flash. Somebody took a picture with a cell phone camera. It can be quiet. You don't even hear the flash. We're talking digital cameras now. We're not talking old time cameras where when a flash went off, it was loud again, it just speaks volumes to me on an investigation how many variables there are that can confuse people, and somebody who may not be investigating in that room looking at that flash, they're like, my gosh, what was that? Because there's also a event called pareidolia, which your human mind and your eyes, you want to try to make that something familiar that you recognize. So that's another variable that just, it throws it so much more into the loop where you're not sure what this was. There are investigative protocols and techniques which can really help teams avoid that trap. But in this particular case, something was missed. I don't know. I would honestly debunk it. without further research and really tearing the picture apart.
Okay.
I think I have to agree. So I'll show the clip again. I think what determines it for me, because even I'm not familiar on the technical side of a lot of the equipment being used and things like that. It looks like it was recorded on just a regular, like a cell phone or something like that. But you can see as it goes through, the flash almost gets caught in different, oh my god, excuse me, different frames of the shutter closing, so to speak. So you can see there's a hard line for the light as it's moving across. And I think that's what's giving it that effect rather than just the instantaneous pop.
I totally agree, Seth.
Yeah, so
that was a lot of fancy talk, and I didn't understand all the.
Well, what I'll do is I'll show the clip again, and as that flash goes, watch the center of the screen. So that's going to be the focal point of where that frame is moving. There we go.
Did you hear it?
Something at the end was me.
So do you see there how it almost moves across the screen slower than the actual frame rate?
Yes.
That's more or less what I mean.
Okay, so I can understand that.
Yeah.
So it was what the video that you're seeing, it was recorded on just a regular cell phone. That's what we use when we go live on Facebook. And I do believe that we did have someone in the room snapping pictures on a digital camera. So what the two of you said, that makes perfect sense. And I love that. This is what we do. This is a part of evidence review for our viewers. We debunk. If it's truthful, we throw it out there. And we like to find out whether or not it's real. That's the whole point of this. We're researching. And viewers, if you guys have any input, go ahead, throw it in the comments. I know we have the portal box going in the background, so even if you got some headphones in, those are great for hearing things. If you heard something coming off the portal box, throw that in the comments because we'd love to hear that too.
I honestly, Sky, I did hear Larissa's name through that.
Oh, did you?
Even over the recording, and my goal is to be completely objective, and just any kind of previous thoughts, whatever, just throw them out the book. I saw, or I heard her name being called, and I was like, oh my gosh, I heard it. So it's, again, I think the more investigations you do, you kind of get to a point where you train your ears, but then you become more aware also of the variables, like Seth was saying, with the camera angle, and maybe this was a shadow or a reflection, or whatever. There's just no, we're all in this together trying to figure this out. So
yes. And just, you said about having years of experience. Can you let us know how many years you have?
I'm sorry, say again.
How many years of experience in the field do you personally have?
I'm 55 years old. My very first investigation was 31 years ago. Okay. Due to my military, and I was in law enforcement for a while, that wasn't conducive with trying to investigate, but always had a passion, always had an interest, and always studied up on it. Yeah. And at that time, there was just no equipment. Okay. Now there's a lot of equipment.
Your ears are very well trained. We have some commenters. Brian would like to see the flash again. And we have a commenter that said that they heard something, but they couldn't make it out. So Seth, could we throw that up there again for our viewers?
Absolutely. You beat me to the punch.
Thank you.
Did you hear it?
Something at the end was me.
My ears heard no words, and I typically, truthfully, cannot normally hear things from the portal box, if I'm being honest. The radio frequency throws me off. Did you guys hear anything?
I didn't hear anything personally. I've never used a spirit box. That being said, with the amount of chatter, I'd have to really like listen close and try to pick it apart in my head. But no, I myself didn't hear anything.
And Keith, you already stated that you thought you had heard someone say Larissa, but as one of our commenters have said, somebody else was talking in the background, so it's hard to decipher whether or not that was one of our members or something coming out of the box itself.
Correct, and that's the investigations from professional teams. And I know sometimes the energy, the excitement, people, oh my gosh, what was that? What was this? What was that? It is so imperative. If you ask questions, then you need to be quiet and just listen. And during the heat of an investigation, when things are just going crazy, which I've been on a few, and it's just like, shut your mouth, shut your mouth, shut your mouth. Don't say a word. Just listen, listen, listen. And the EVP recorders, which are very sensitive now, it's amazing what they can pick up. It's also imperative for the teams to know what is going on in the environment, because if the three of us are in a room and we know none of us spoke, but yet we pick up an EVP and it says, "Hi, my name's Bob." You know, if you're in a brick building or something where you know it's not coming in off the street, then how do you explain that?
Exactly. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know who Bob is at that point.
Exactly. Exactly.
Sorry, go ahead.
Apologies. Brian would like to know if the camera battery got drained. So I was not using one of the regular cameras, and I do wish that our lovely Bree was here to tell you that yes, her camera did get drained. I believe one time for sure. I'm not sure if it was any more than that. And it does happen very frequently on investigations. Those spirits just really want that energy from wherever they can get it from.
Just eating it all up.
That was a good question, Brian. And actually, I've been in an environment where my battery went completely dead. I walked outside the room and I had battery power again. And I'm like, how do you explain that? I didn't hit the off button. I didn't do anything. So
yeah, there we have our lovely Bree.
Oh, there's Bree.
It did in fact go dead. And Keith, you're absolutely correct. That happens a lot. I have had, I'm going to throw one of those things in there, Hell House, Waldorf, and Lehighton. I have actually, my flashlight on my phone, we were in the basement. I turned it on. I walked into the basement from the stairs, and it completely shut off on me. It would not turn back on, not once, until I walked back upstairs to the bar. So for those of you that have never heard of the Waldorf or Hell House, please check it out. January 13th, we're there with Daryl Marston. You guys are going to love that.
Tickets are on sale now.
Yeah. But Seth, I think you had a question for Keith before.
Yeah. I was going to ask. So as you're going through, because you're the senior evidence tech, as you're going through and listening to everything, do you have to, or rather, how would I word this? As you're going through, how do you differentiate the two? If there is people talking and something coming through the spirit box, like how are you able to differentiate that?
I have unfortunately had to basically backfile evidence that I know I heard other things in, but there was too much contamination. And again, this gets back to the basic investigation etiquette and techniques, especially for somebody who's not trained or who has not investigated. You really need to just go in, let your senses, your emotions, but also let your ears. And when we're talking about these high sensitive electronic voice recorders, it will pick up noise from the outside. And if people are inside just talking away, well, obviously you can't present that as evidence.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's contaminated. So it's a fine line, and I know people's emotions. I mean, I get excited in some investigations where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. But I've kind of trained myself to just keep my mouth shut and just zip it and listen. And I think that's probably the best advice, for anybody who's looking to investigate. Just be quiet.
Just to move in silence there and reap the rewards after.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think that is probably the best advice to give anyone that wants to go on an investigation. Silence is key. If you want to hear what's going on outside of our realm or whatever you would like to refer to it as, you need to be quiet. Don't whisper. If you're whispering, please acknowledge yourself.
I feel like speaking normally and even loudly is probably a little bit better than whispering in a case like that.
Well, again, I'll bring this up. My stomach, usually at like 3 o'clock in the morning, my stomach decides to start growling, even if I'm not hungry. And it's when you have 2 or 3 people and their stomachs start growling, whatever, it's like, hey, that was me. Sorry. So yeah, in the evidence analysis and review, it just makes it so much more difficult.
Can imagine, yeah.
You have a very tough job, but we appreciate everything that you do. I promise, all of us. Brian, hello again. We were at George Taylor House in Catasauqua, PA. We're allowed to say it's okay.
Feel free to ask questions. And Akira, I might butcher this, Akira Yalam is absolutely correct. Always keep an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is the whole point of our show.
Very loud. All right.
I'm not sure.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Who's commenting from our team, but they're always a treat.
Well, I think that is all the time we have for today.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very good to talk to you guys. Glad to get your input. And we will see you on the next episode.
Yes.
Keith, thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Before we go, hello. Hello, Larissa. Before we go, have we ever done any investigations in Texas?
Have we gotten that far out?
I've been in Texas, but I've never investigated there.
And I don't believe our team has. So no,
Nice.
but we will definitely have to get out there. I'm sure you guys have some great stuff in Texas.
What part of Texas? They don't say.
Wichita Falls.
I'm sorry, what was it?
Wichita Falls. Am I saying that correctly?
I don't know. My experience is in Dallas and El Paso.
Dallas and El Paso. I don't know if that's anywhere near Wichita Falls.
I have no idea.
Ghosts are bigger in Texas. Thank you, Larissa.
Everything
Everything is bigger in Texas.
She was at Fort Hood. She's fake and she knows it.
All right, guys. Well, that is it for tonight. We enjoyed your commentary today, and we hope that you all have a fantastic night. Please keep an open mind and don't be skeptical. We will see you tomorrow night.
Signing off.
Night.